You are making mistakes on your daily walk that are causing your dog chronic anxiety, and you do not even know it. Veterinary behaviorists have found that these common walking habits actually spike a dog's cortisol levels. If your dog pulls on the leash, barks at other dogs, or seems exhausted rather than relaxed after a walk, you are probably doing at least one of the things on this list. Stay until the end, because the final mistake is something almost every modern dog owner does, and it completely destroys the bond between you and your dog. Reason 1: rushing the sniff. The single biggest mistake you can make on a walk is treating it like a race to the finish line. We walk with a destination in mind. We want to get around the block and get back home. So, when our dog stops to smell a patch of grass or the base of a tree, we pull them along. We say, "Come on, let us keep moving." This is a massive psychological error. To understand why, you have to understand how a dog experiences the world. Humans are visual creatures. We see the world. Dogs are olfactory creatures. They smell the world. A dog has up to 300 million olfactory receptors in their nose. We have only 6 million. When your dog stops to sniff a fire hydrant, they are not just smelling urine. They are reading a detailed biological profile of the dog who left it. They know the dog's gender, age, health status, and emotional state. It is literally their version of checking social media. When you pull them away after 2 seconds, you are snatching their phone out of their hands right in the middle of an important message. Studies have shown that sniffing actively lowers a dog's heart rate. It releases dopamine in their brain. 20 minutes of intense sniffing tires a dog out much more than 20 minutes of fast walking. Stop rushing them. The walk is for them, not for you. Let them read the news. Reason 2: the tight leash tension. Look down at your leash. You are silently transmitting stress directly into your dog's nervous system. In 2021, a fascinating study was published in the journal Animal Cognition. Researchers wanted to know if stress could literally run down the leash from human to dog. The answer was a resounding yes. When you hold the leash with tension, you are restricting your dog's natural movement. In the animal kingdom, physical restraint triggers a survival response. It makes them feel trapped. If they see another dog or a strange object, and they feel a tight grip on their neck, they cannot perform their natural greeting or avoidance behaviors. Their brain registers this as a vulnerability. Because they cannot flee, their only remaining option is to fight. This is the root cause of leash reactivity. Many dogs who bark and lunge on a leash are perfectly friendly when off the leash. The tight leash creates the aggression. Furthermore, constant pressure on the neck restricts blood flow and breathing. It raises their pulse rate and spikes their cortisol. You must teach your dog to walk on a loose leash, not just for your shoulder, but for their mental health. A loose leash tells your dog, "We are safe, you are free to explore, and there is no danger here." Reason 3: forced greetings. We have all been there. You are walking your dog and another owner approaches with their dog. They smile and say, "Is your dog friendly? Can they say hi?" And because you want to be polite, you tighten the leash and let the dogs approach each other face to face. This is a recipe for disaster. In canine body language, a direct, head-on approach is highly confrontational. It is considered incredibly rude and aggressive. When two dogs meet naturally off-leash, they never walk straight toward each other. They approach in a wide arc. They avoid direct eye contact. They circle each other and sniff from behind. This is the polite canine handshake. But when they are attached to a 6-foot leash, they do not have the space to perform this natural arc. They are forced to march straight toward a strange dog while their owner holds the leash tight. This creates immense social pressure. They feel trapped and forced into a confrontation. Even if a fight does not break out, the interaction is highly stressful. Your dog does not need to be friends with every dog they pass on the street, just like you do not stop to hug every stranger you pass on the sidewalk. It is perfectly okay, and actually much healthier, to simply walk past other dogs. Teach your dog that they can observe other dogs without having to interact with them. This builds confidence and reduces anxiety. Reason 4: flooding fear triggers. Imagine you are terrified of spiders, and your friend decides the best way to cure your fear is to lock you in a small room filled with spiders. Would that cure your fear, or would it traumatize you further? In psychology, this is called flooding. And unfortunately, many dog owners do this to their dogs every day on walks. Your dog might be terrified of garbage trucks, or skateboards, or men wearing hats. When you encounter one of these triggers, your instinct might be to pull your dog closer to it, to show them that it is not dangerous. You drag them past the loud construction site while they are trembling and trying to back away. This does not teach them that the construction site is safe. It teaches them that their owner will force them into terrifying situations, and their attempts to communicate fear will be ignored. This destroys trust. When a dog is pushed past their threshold of fear, they do not learn. Their brain enters survival mode. The correct approach is desensitization. Distance equals safety. If your dog is afraid of a garbage truck, cross the street. Create enough distance so that your dog can observe the truck without panicking. Let them watch it from a safe zone. Reward them for remaining calm. Over weeks and months, you can gradually decrease the distance. Never force your dog into a situation they are not emotionally equipped to handle. You are their protector. Act like one. Reason 5. Inconsistent routines. Dogs are creatures of habit. They thrive on predictability. They do not wear watches, but their internal clock is incredibly precise. They know when the sun comes up. They know when the mail carrier arrives, and they know when it is time for their walk. When your walking schedule is wildly inconsistent, it creates a low level of chronic anxiety in your dog. If they never know when they are going to get out of the house, they live in a state of perpetual waiting. Will it be at 7 in the morning, or noon, or maybe not until after dark? This unpredictability is stressful. Imagine not knowing when you will be allowed to use the bathroom or stretch your legs. You would be anxious too. You do not need to walk them at the exact same minute every day, but establishing a reliable window of time gives them peace of mind. It allows them to relax during the rest of the day, knowing that their needs will be met. A dog who knows exactly when their walk is coming is a much calmer, happier dog inside the house. Reason 6. Ignoring the weather. This mistake seems obvious, but veterinary clinics see the results of it every single summer and winter. We put on thick boots in the winter and thick-soled sneakers in the summer. We do not feel the temperature of the ground, but your dog walks barefoot. Asphalt and concrete absorb heat from the sun and hold it for hours. On a warm summer day, the pavement can easily reach temperatures high enough to cause third-degree burns on your dog's paw pads in a matter of minutes. A simple test is to place the back of your hand flat against the pavement for 7 seconds. If it is too hot for your hand, it is too hot for your dog's paws. Similarly, in the winter, rock salt and chemical deicers used on sidewalks can be highly toxic and incredibly painful if they get lodged between your dog's toes. Furthermore, dogs do not sweat like we do. They can only cool themselves by panting and releasing heat through their paws. Forcing a dog to walk briskly in the heat of the day is a recipe for heat stroke. Adjust your walking schedule to the weather. Walk early in the morning or late in the evening during the summer. Protect their paws. They rely entirely on your judgment to keep them safe from the elements. Reason 7. The wrong gear. The equipment you use on a walk matters immensely. A collar that is too tight restricts breathing and can cause permanent damage to the trachea, especially in small breeds or dogs that pull. A harness that does not fit properly can chafe the skin under their armpits, altering their natural gait and causing long-term joint pain. Many owners buy a harness when their dog is a puppy and never adjust it as the dog grows. Or they buy a heavy, restrictive harness that limits the dog's shoulder movement. Imagine trying to go for a jog while wearing a backpack that is strapped too tightly across your chest. It is uncomfortable, exhausting, and stressful. Your dog cannot tell you that their gear hurts. They will just silently endure it. You might notice them walking slightly sideways, or refusing to move forward, or scratching at their neck. Take the time to research proper walking gear. A Y-shaped harness that leaves the shoulders completely free to move is usually the best option for most dogs. Check the fit regularly You should be able to comfortably slip 2 fingers underneath any strap. Comfortable gear leads to a comfortable, relaxed walk. Reason 8. Dictating the route. How would you feel if every time you left your house, someone else held your hand and dragged you exactly where they wanted to go? You never got to choose the path. You had zero autonomy. That is how most dogs experience their daily walk. We walk the exact same loop, in the exact same direction, at the exact same pace, every single day. It becomes incredibly monotonous. Dogs are intelligent, curious animals. They need mental stimulation just as much as physical exercise. One of the easiest ways to reduce stress and increase happiness is to introduce the concept of a sniffari, or a decompression walk. Once or twice a week, put your dog on a long line. Take them to a safe, open area like a large park or a nature trail, and let them lead. If they want to walk slowly and smell a single bush for 5 minutes, let them. If they want to turn left instead of right, follow them. Give them complete control over the pace and the destination, as long as it is safe. This simple act of granting autonomy is incredibly empowering for a dog. It builds their confidence and deeply satisfies their natural instincts. We saved this one for last because it is the most common and arguably the most damaging mistake of all. You are walking down the street. Your dog is on the end of the leash, and your eyes are glued to your smartphone. You are scrolling through social media, answering emails, or texting a friend. You think you are multitasking. You are getting the dog walked while getting things done. But to your dog, you are completely absent. A walk is supposed to be a shared experience. It is a time for bonding, communication, and teamwork. When you are staring at your phone, you are missing all of your dog's subtle signals. You do not see them look up at you for guidance when a loud truck passes. You do not notice that they are limping slightly because a thorn is stuck in their paw. You do not see the subtle stiffening of their body language when a strange dog approaches, meaning you miss the chance to intervene before a reaction occurs. Your dog knows when you are not paying attention. They can feel the lack of connection through the leash. When the leader of the pack is mentally absent, the dog feels vulnerable and unprotected. They feel like they have to take charge of the environment because you are not doing it. This leads to increased anxiety and hypervigilance. Put the phone in your pocket. Look at your dog. Watch how their ears move. Watch how their tail carriage changes when they smell something interesting. Be present with them. They wait all day for this 30-minute window to be with you. Do not spend it looking at a screen. Be their partner, their protector, and their guide. The walk will become safer, less stressful, and infinitely more rewarding for both of you. The next time you grab the leash, remember that you are not just exercising a pet. You are taking a highly intelligent, emotional creature on an exploration of their world. Small changes make a massive difference. Loosen the leash. Let them sniff. Put the phone away. And watch how quickly your stressful walks transform into peaceful adventures. If you recognize any of these mistakes, do not feel guilty. We all learn as we go. Share this video with another dog owner who wants the best for their best friend. Subscribe to the channel for more insights into your dog's mind. And tell us in the comments, what is your dog's absolute favorite thing to do on a walk? We read every single one.